Will this destroy the compact tractor industry? That's the question we're going to address today, but maybe not quite in the way you're thinking. Yeah, there's 31 of these Chinese Mini Excavators sitting here that we're going to watch auction, and that's not going to be my main point today. My main point is the business model behind all of these auctions and how does it relate to the compact tractor business. Let's get started. If you haven't been keeping up with this business model, this industry that we're seeing right now, these are excavators that just came off a crate. Okay, the container is actually here and will be sold at this auction. Again, there's 31 of these. There's a bunch of attachments. There's a bunch of track loaders, just a whole bunch of different items, golf carts, fencing, gates, little carports, a lot of items that come over on these containers that are auctioned in this fashion. Brand new. All of these have 0.1 hours on them, if anything. I don't think they have any fuel in them. We tried to start one up. The battery's charged, it will crank, but it won't start. So probably no fuel at all. From a distance, they all look the same, but when you look a little closer, there are some differences. This is pretty much the entry level. It has manual controls. It's the smallest unit they have. This one doesn't have any hydraulic thumb. As we move on to some of the others here, this one has the controls, see, back on the operator station. This will be a pilot control system, should be a little bit smoother. None of these are going to be really smooth. Some of them have third hydraulics up to here with a mechanical thumb. As we go along, some of them will actually have hydraulic thumbs. There's a few with cabin air conditioning. One of the challenges that I have found is trying to identify all the differences, right? They're not really branded. Everyone has a different brand, and the numbers are confusing, a little bit inconsistent. Typically the R at the end means it's one of those Chinese engines, Rato or something like that. 13.5 horses, most of them. Let's find a nicer one down here. This one's a little bit bigger. This one's 1,200 kilograms. That's, I don't know, 2,400 pounds, something like that. A little more than that probably. It's got two sets of hydraulics up here on the front. Both of those controls are here. One of them's a little tight. Still got a gasoline engine, but this is one of the more full-featured machines that we have here today. Now, I brought along kind of a regular on our channel now to help me with some of this market analysis. Come on in here.
Hey Tim, how you doing?
How you doing, Ken?
All right.
You just told me that you're wanting to replace your 375 backhoe on your 3720.
It is very tempting, yes.
And I think that's a fair statement. When we're talking about these things specifically, the smallest ones are probably good competition from a capability standpoint to the subcompact tractors.
Right.
260 backhoes on a 1025R, other subcompact backhoe like that. The benefit, of course, is that you can get your spoils further away, just like any mini excavator.
And it leaves your front end loader, well, the machine free to move the spoils and all that.
From a business model standpoint, what we see here is that this is allowing people who can't afford a machine, can't afford a tractor and a backhoe, allowing them an entry into this market.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, people that would never even think about having a tractor or anything or buying these at an auction. And
you see your typical picture is a minivan pulling a rented trailer.
Yes.
With one of these on it that he's bought at auction.
Yeah.
And he's got it for $3,000, maybe a little less.
Right, and he's going home to plant shrubs and stuff like that, and it'll be perfect for him.
He'll have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
It's a unit that was sold that would have never been sold through a traditional model.
Exactly, with the dealer markups and all that, yeah.
On the surface, it's easy to talk about the pricing and that, and you can just go get one of these things, and should we consider that versus a backhoe, or should we? But what I want to focus on is this business model and dig into that a little bit.
How do you buy it? How do you get it home? How do you service it? How do you get parts?
Well, that's from the customer standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking from the business standpoint. What's really going on here, and it is relevant. So let's look from the customer standpoint for a minute. First of all, they're getting something at half price, maybe even a third the price of what they can buy through a US dealer.
Right.
They know they're not getting any warranty, right? I mean, you come to an auction like this, you buy something, you're not getting any warranty.
As is where is, right?
You're not getting any dealer support. You know, you're not getting any guidance on which one you should buy. We talked about how the numbers don't really make any sense on this. You kind of have to do your own research on that and figure out what you're getting. But for that, you're ending up with a machine at a third the price, or in some cases, you're ending up with a machine where you wouldn't have even had one because you couldn't afford it.
Yeah, true. Right. Very true.
So from the customer standpoint, I'm not really trying to take an opinion on this thing. I'm just trying to understand
why they're so popular, why people are buying them. There's definitely a huge appeal to them.
And I can see it. I can see it. I fully get it. Now, let's look from the other side here. So how is this working? We're actually seeing a container offloaded back in the back of more stuff, probably for the next auction here.
Yes.
Right? And you can see that this stuff is all still encased in its container. It's selling just like this. They're not even getting them out of the crates.
Right. You get
and
load it on your truck and you take it home and uncrate it and get some free scrap iron to build a next project with.
So I'm not sure who owns this equipment. I'm not sure if the auction house bought this container full of stuff and is selling it. Typically, in this particular option, there's a buyer's premium. So you pay sales tax and you pay a buyer's premium.
Okay.
A 10% here, a buyer's premium to what you purchase. So if someone else owns this, the auctioneer may not own it, but the auctioneer is going to make his money with the buyer's premium, right? The question is who owns it. So it's possible that the auction house is bringing it in and just taking the risk on moving it.
Right.
From their standpoint, they view this as a whole container full of stuff, right? There's going to be some mini excavators, there's going to be some stand-on track loaders, there's going to be a lot of attachments, there's golf carts, there's
everything.
Everything. They're going to buy a whole container full of stuff and I guess hope that it sells for more than they paid for it.
Right.
Oh, and they sell the container too.
Yeah, right, because containers are one use, it costs too much to ship them back to China, so.
And these containers they have here have doors on the side, all along the side, be very practical, very useful.
Beautiful floors, very well made, watertight.
We're seeing the prices on a lot of these mini excavators gradually go down. In other words, it was almost $4,000 about a year ago for the entry level, and now it's a little less than $3,000.
There's more of them. Yeah, definitely more of them, more competition.
I mean, we just searched. We found this auction in less than 24 hours notice. I just searched for auctions in Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's right. We're in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Yep. And in less than 24 hours, here was an auction that came up. Right. Next week, there'll be another one.
So you've been to a lot of auctions. I've only been to one or two. So explain this buyer's premium to me and the sales tax. So you said 10% buyer's premium, Pennsylvania 6% sales tax. So it's basically 16% I'm paying over whatever the bid, whatever I win.
Yeah.
16%, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if the 6% is on the buyer's premium or not, that level of detail, but just figure at 16% here. Now, if you're buying it for ag purposes or whatever, you got tax exempt, you can go through and get your sales tax exemption.
You do have to look at that buyer's premium carefully.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of buyer's premiums, but it seems to have taken over the auction industry. But that's how it works. So whatever your max bid is, if you win, I'm not even sure I like the term win, because did you really win?
Yeah.
You paid more than anyone else was willing to pay. So did you really win?
Right.
But that's an aside. So what I see here from this market is that they must be making a profit somewhere. And I, first of all, I don't know who they is. I don't know who owns the equipment. Was clearly shipped directly from China. It's either unpacked here on site or it's not even unpacked at all.
Right.
And you get it and unpack it yourself.
Just judging by the volume here, I would assume it's the auctioneer that owns the equipment that brought it in. It seems that way anyway, on the surface.
From the seller's standpoint, the original seller, he is skipping any dealer markup. He doesn't have any distribution really charged, because he's sending a whole crate of stuff. There's no inventory, right? They don't have to pay for inventory fees for long-term storage because it's already at auction.
A model I've seen is people are buying a container of them off of Alibaba, which is like the Chinese Amazon, getting 3 or 4 excavators. They get theirs and they sell the other 3 or 4. And they're making money. They're basically getting an excavator for free.
And that's exactly what probably is being done here on scale. Now, when it was mini excavators, I don't think this was a very big deal, because there was some mini excavators at this size. Kubota's had one for 10 years probably, maybe longer. but I doubt that they were selling very many of them because of the price. They weren't really fitted for a homeowner.
Very expensive.
So they're almost creating their market for mini excavators. But now we're standing beside little stand-on track loaders.
Right.
Now this is an industry that many people are playing in. Well, Baumolite, you know, you see a lot of YouTubers with the Baumolite stand-on ones. You see Vermeer has them.
Everybody has them now.
Everybody
has one now. All the landscapers are using them, yeah.
Yeah, so my question is, what are these machines doing to the stand-on skid steer market? And as we'll look over here, they actually have one with a seat on it now.
The attachments are just ridiculous. They have here on pallet. You buy a whole pallet full of attachments. It comes with an auger, an extra bucket, a ditching bucket, a grapple, everything on one pallet.
I'm glad you got a number, Ken. Did you bring your trailer?
I did not bring the trailer.
You'll have to come back. You need one of these little dump trucks.
I don't know if I need that or not.
You could haul your trash to the road with that.
Yes. Yeah, the 120 feet.
Here's my prediction. Write it down. Or at least my challenge to you. First year or two, we saw mini excavators. Now we're seeing track loaders stand on. Now we're seeing set on track loaders right over here.
Yeah.
Little dump trucks. Are we going to see compact tractors in this business model?
It seems it's heading that way. They're only a step away from doing that. Yeah.
So let's envision that a little bit. We would be talking about probably a $5,000, maybe even a little less, 25 horsepower compact tractor with a loader. And where do I get that price? Well, looking at how much hydraulics and how much complexity there is on the mini excavators, and I don't see why we couldn't see a $5,000 one.
Yeah, I mean, all the engineering's done for all the systems, so it's just a matter of making it work.
Notice we're still not sharing our opinions. We're just trying to predict what's going to happen. So if that happens, what happens to the existing compact tractor manufacturers and dealers?
Probably they're doing what they're doing with the compact track loaders and all, just ignoring that right now and just keep on and assuming that the professionals are going to keep buying that higher end stuff, and the homeowners are going to buy the smaller stuff. But the market's hard to ignore, that you're going to spend $40,000, $50,000 on a Vermeer when you can spend $5,000 here and have a whole army of attachments with it.
It challenges your mind, doesn't it? It really does challenge one's mind. And so I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be a big disruption. I really do think. I could envision that some compact tractor vendors, manufacturers, are going to be out of the market. There's already kind of a downturn in the compact tractor market over the last year or two, and I think one could argue that the mini excavators and these devices are already putting a damper on compact tractor sales.
At least on attachment sales, because a lot of people are buying one of these versus buying a backhoe for their 1, 2, 3 series size machine.
Yeah. Here's one of those small track loaders with a seat. It's got a canopy, and all this can be yours if the price is right. Christy, I think I could fit this flail mower for my excavator in the van.
No thanks.
You know, this is the same brand, and it's the AGT or Agro TK or whatever. It's the same brand that I bought my excavator tiller. You know, I bought mine in the state of Washington or Oregon or something and had it shipped. I only paid $325 for mine. And like this one, it was new. We're seeing just all kinds of attachments. Just everything you can imagine that's hydraulic attached. Now, one thing I am noticing is very little tractor stuff. It's almost all skid steer attached stuff.
Full-size skid and mini skid, yeah.
Just as we thought, this machine here, it's the nicest one, Ken. It's a little bit bigger. It's got pilot controls, 23 horsepower, I believe. Yeah, it sold for $3,700. And then they all step down a little bit as we go forward. You'll see that the machines get a little bit smaller. In this case, we lose the swing. These don't have the swing function. A lot of these went for the 3,300 range. They continue to get just a little bit smaller, a little more primitive. Well, here's one that doesn't have pilot controls right in the middle.
Yep.
But pilot controls seem to be worth a couple $100. The size seems to be worth maybe $300 or $400. Now, of course, there's a 10% buyer's premium on all this.
Right.
So any numbers that we quote have an additional 10% on that. These actually, I thought, sold pretty high. They were in the 2,600, and they're really small. The only thing they have is the pilot controls.
No hydraulic thumb and no side swing.
Now, the only reason I say pretty high is just compared to the others.
Right.
Because the prices on these things have dropped a lot. We're getting to the cheaper ones down here. The far end ones sold for about $2,300. And we just spoke to a guy who said he bought one of these exact machines 15, 20 miles away last week for $1,850.
Yeah.
In fact, he actually thinks that some of these machines came from that auction.
Yeah, he does. He bought 2 machines and he's selling them on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. He's retired from his day job and he just sells these machines on his own. So I'm sure there's a lot of that goes on, and it's probably slimy, just like a lot of things we see. And so we're probably gonna end up, if we buy one, Ken, we're gonna end up paying somebody $300 or $400 more than what we should have to pay, right?
Seems the way that it seems to be, yeah.
But on the other hand, we're getting a machine here for $2,300. It's really going to be tough on dealerships and better quality machines.
Yeah, they can't compete with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is not a competitive machine with, say, a Kubota.
Right, no, definitely not.
We understand that, but on the other hand, it's good enough.
Good enough for the homeowner with a minivan and rented U-Haul trailer to get it home.
I'd like to hear your comments about what you think about is going to happen with the market. Yeah, the quality of the machines, that's one thing, but what's going to happen with this market? Is it going to transition into the compact tractor market? You know, is this something that's going to put a lot of strain on the way we've always done it, right? Are we going to lose the support? Are we not going to, because there's no support for these and there's not going to be support.
I think the support now is in the Facebook groups. Yeah. I think that's the support. You're your own mechanic and your own warranty station. So
and to some degree, that's fun for DIY folks. I get that. I enjoy that kind of thing. But on the other hand, if something serious goes wrong, are you going to be able to get that? Maybe.
There are small companies that are making parts for these and accessories for these because of the market has grown so much. So there are companies in the U.S. making parts for the Chinese machines.
Are you interested in this type of content? Is this the kind of thing that you would like to see us analyze in more detail? If you notice, we haven't shared a lot of what we really think about whether we should buy one or not. That's really not where we're going on this. We're just kind of thinking about just what it does to the market.
Right, exactly.
Let us know what you would like us to dive into, and yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. Now listen, you who say today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money, why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes.